Living in Turkey in the city versus living in the village side. This is the topic for the day. We're going to be exploring. I'm going to be sharing my experiences and what I have seen, or the lesson that I have observed or maybe learned, because I have lived both sides, the city life, majorly the city life, and also partially the village life. And I want to share with you in regard, or maybe in regard to the previous video that I did, sharing about life in the Turkish village and showing you around our gardens. And some of you had very good comments, but some of you also had some nasty comments. We don't want to focus on the nasty comments, because as usual, someone will hate something or somewhere for no reason. They don't know you, they don't know where you live, they don't know the people you live with, but they still have the audacity to write some stuff which are negative. I'm not focusing on that today. I just want to compare my experiences, what I have learned or what I have observed living in Turkish village, and also lifestyle, and also living in the city life. Now, as a foreigner who has gotten married to a Turkish man, I have first to say that I'm it's not like living in the village or in the city. It is something new to me, because while back in my country, I used to live in Nairobi. Nairobi is a very big city, and before that, or maybe after that, I traveled outside the country, and I have lived in major cities like in Dubai. I have lived in Doha, Qatar, and now I'm here in Turkey. Lived here for the few years that I have been here, and I can actually tell you, or maybe I can actually differentiate the lifestyle, both lifestyles. When I was back in Kenya, I'm a village girl. I'm the Kenyeji one. Kenyans have this thing of Kenyeji. Kenyeji is like a girl who grew up in the village, and she has this lifestyle of village life. Yeah, that is me. Okay, all my life, most of my life, I lived with my parents in western part of Kenya. So it's not like it is something new that will shock me when I go somewhere and I find that this lifestyle looks like a village. It's not like it's gonna kill me, no. So living in the city life, it is good. You're gonna experience a lot in terms of the bubbling and the things that come with the city life, but also it is so boring, it is so tiresome, it is so noisy, it is so polluted, and it's just too much drama, politics, and stuff like that. Now, when I first came here in Turkey, even though I'm not a person who is actually too much into participating in stuff like politics or stuff like that, or maybe if we have street stuff, I'm not that person, because most of the time I spend with my family or with my kids. I have been spending a lot of time with my kids because they're still young. But at the end of the day, I still participate in certain areas, or maybe go outside and see what's going on the street, what's going on there, and try different kind of food, try different kind of things, and also talk with the locals, talk with the people, connect with others. Now, when I went to my very first time when I visited Turkish village, I was super surprised. The very first thing, what surprised me most is in terms of actually, it looks just the same like in Kenya. The only difference is that it is a little bit developed in terms of the road wise, in terms of actually advancement in the technology, what they are using in their daily basic life, like the things in the house. You will find that they have machines for washing, they have machine for cleaning, they have machines for actually doing the farming wise, like tractors, like machine for cutting stuff, fruits, harvesting, a lot of them, different kinds of them, and they are too much involved into farming, and their farming is not similar, almost similar, but not too much like the normal life I used to live in Kenya. Even though we used to do farming, my parents were great farmers. My mother, during those days, she was a great farmer. My father also, he's late right now. May his soul continue to rest in peace. So I grew up into the family whereby they do farming, and I know pretty much sure that planting vegetable is something that is very useful. Now, one thing I found out in Turkish village, it is in terms of how lifestyle is there. Like their lifestyle there is totally different from the lifestyle people live in the cities. In Turkish village, I noticed that people there do not actually have that speed in terms of doing their jobs. Instead, they take time to sit down, to relax, to actually just relax and go with the flow without rushing, without actually doing things in a hurry. You'll find that even the villagers during the maybe the breakfast time they gather, or maybe the dinner time they gather together as a family and eat and laugh and drink some tea or some chai, which is something so good. They just take time to connect with other, to socialize and stuff like that. But when it comes to city life, both me living in Turkey and other cities, even including in my own country in Kenya, it was all about rushing. It's all about rushing the daily activities. You have to finish this one, you have to do this, you have to go to work, you have to do this and stuff like that. You even forgot about your neighbor, especially if you are living, if you are working the 9 to 5 job. Sometimes you forget about your neighbor, you forget about to talk with them, your friends, and sometimes they hate you, especially if you are living abroad. They're gonna start telling you, oh, since she went to maybe she visited this country, she's not talking with us, oh, she has changed and stuff like that. But they do not understand that it is the lifestyle there. So just sitting together and actually like a community, like a family coming together, having, even if it is tea, because Turkish tea is very important to them, the black tea. It is part of their culture in terms of welcoming guests. And I realized that they spend a lot of time during this time talking, knowing each other. The first time when I was there, I was like, this is not the same way we normally do, even if it is drinking tea. For us, we just drink tea and go. Maybe we ask, how are you? And it is like that. But for them, they have a pattern. Or maybe they have a pattern whereby one day, if you are a guest, maybe you are 5 of you, the host, or maybe the people around you, they're going to take turns asking you, how are you? Nasalisin, Napio, they take time to understand how you are doing. It's just something amazing I witnessed, and I was like, wow, this is so good. Something also I noticed about living in Turkish village, it is in terms of actually the freshness, in terms of the vegetables, in terms of the air, in terms of what you eat, the organic or maybe the fresh fruits from the farm. Even though in Turkey, I have say also in the city, most of the stuff that are being sold here, they are actually organic, because they get, or maybe they harvest, or they produce most of them from the village side. And it's just amazing, even if they are almost the same, the city and also the village life, but seeing how the things are actually uprooted. Last time we went there, unfortunately I have deleted my kid deleted all the footage about the videos I wanted to do about the vegetable, the fresh vegetables, and also the potatoes. But last time when I was there, we were uprooting the potatoes, the sweet potatoes that we had planted. And it's just amazing to see how fruits are growing, how they are ripening, how they are turning the color, how they are getting that sun, and how people are watering and taking care of them. Especially my mother-in-law, she does a very amazing job when it comes to actually gardening and putting on water, flowering, harvesting, planting. She's just amazing, So life there, you're gonna eat fresh stuff. You're gonna eat fresh stuff from the farm. If it is milk, you're gonna get directly from the farm, from the cows, and you're gonna boil and make tea if you want to make tea. Like for me, if you are a person who loves tea with milk, you're gonna make some yogurt. Yogurt is very important in Turkish culture. One thing I have to actually add, or some of the things I have to add about living in Turkey as a foreigner in city versus in the village, it is about the language barrier. when it comes to communication, because in Turkish cities, especially in places like Istanbul and these big cities, you'll find many people who actually speak English, and most maybe most of the languages, like maybe German, maybe Spanish, maybe all these big or maybe foreign languages. But in Turkish village, most of them, they are Turks, and they speak their national language, which is Turkish. Okay, and this makes it easier to actually navigate daily life if you don't speak fluent Turkish in the city. Now, in the village, however, almost everyone speak only Turkish. This language barrier can actually make a big challenge, especially at first. But I found that people in the village are patient and are actually willing to help you learn. They might use body language or maybe signs to become your best friend, and also you'll just have to pick up some Turkish phrases quickly. Okay, so living in the village pushed me to learn more Turkish, and it's actually a great way to immerse yourself in the language and the culture. Let's talk about the cost of living and lifestyle in terms of expenses. Living in a Turkish city can be quite for now, it's quite expensive, because rent, especially in popular areas, is very high, and the cost of dining out, shopping, and also entertainment adds up. And if you are used to a Western lifestyle, you'll find the city offers plenty of options, but at a cost. Okay, now in the village, the cost of living is significantly lower. Fresh produce is actually often locally grown, like I have said, and many people actually in the villages are even growing their own vegetable like us. Life's expenses are also minimal here, but you will have to adjust to a simple lifestyle. Like I said, there's no fancy restaurants, and also there's no too much big stores, even though in the town that we normally shop we have, but not too much as in the big cities. Okay, one thing I have learned in the village is to actually appreciate the simplicity and also the value of fresh local food, which is more healthier than the other food that we normally eat in the big cities. Now, let me talk about something about privacy and also personal space. In the city, you have a sense of actually privacy. You can go about your day without attracting much attention, and personal space is actually respected. If you enjoy your privacy, you'll find the city more comfortable. But in the village, everyone knows each other's business. Like, they know who stays here, who is coming here. If you're foreigner, they will know. And people are curious, and as a foreigner, you'll bound to attract a lot of attention. Our neighbors are always stopping by for tea or maybe for offering to help with something. While this can actually feel overwhelming, it is also a beautiful part of life, especially in the village. Now, living here has actually also taught me to embrace community and also openness, in terms of actually if something that isn't as common in the city, it means that I can get help from someone who is near me. Now, something I have to also acknowledge in terms of actually technology and also access to the services. In Turkish cities, you will have access to high-speed internet, modern healthcare, and also all kinds of services. It is easier to stay connected with friends and also family back home, and you can find anything you need with a quick search. However, in the village, internet can be slow and services can be limited, and sometimes electricity goes off for quite some few minutes, not minutes, hours, and come back. Even the water, you have to go to the nearest town for many things, and delivery options are actually rare. At first, this felt inconvenient when I came and there was no electricity sometimes, or maybe the water has gone, and if you want to take a shower and stuff like that. But over time, I learned to appreciate disconnecting and also enjoying more grounded lifestyle. It is actually a chance for you to a chance for you to bond, and also, but maybe surprisingly refreshing if you are open to it and just be to yourself. Now, something I have to emphasize it is in terms of actually the Turkish tradition and also culture. When I first came here, the very first ceremony I visited was during the circumcision, and I learned a lot. It was like a wedding, a very big luxury wedding, and people gathered, a lot of them, and people were eating and drinking and dancing and music and stuff like that, and I learned a lot. And the next ceremony I went was a wedding. So in the city, you'll see a mix of modern and also traditional Turkish culture. You can actually go to concerts and also visit art galleries and explore Turkey's modern side. People are open-minded, and you'll feel like you are living in a blend of East and West. But in the village, like I said, life is deeply traditional. People hold on to customs and celebrate festives, and also in a way that maybe it has been passed down from generations. Now, as a foreigner, it's actually fascinating to witness these traditions up to close, from wedding, like I said, to circumcision and other village life ceremonies, which give you a true appreciation of Turkish culture and also heritage. Now, being part of this tradition as a foreigner has helped me to connect more deeply with Turkey. It is something you don't experience fully in the city. So that's why I actually ask you, if you ever get a chance to visit a Turkish village, try and stay there for a few months or a few weeks. Okay?
Bitirmedim ama sonra bitirelim.
Tamam, go to sleep.
Kıtır.
Tamam.
Ben sleepy geldi.
Tamam, iyi geceler babacığım.
Geceler.
Seni seviyorum.
Seni de sıkıyorum.
I love you. Ecin, do you want to sleep also? Tamam, iyi geceler. Görüşürüz.
Ne var burada?
Bye bye. O çıkar in aşağı. My kids, I'm making video when I'm in their bedroom. Can I show you? They are going to sleep. Okay, remove everything. Remove. Ejin's gonna sleep there. Remove everything and go to sleep. I'm coming after him. Mustafa and you? Mustafa is there. I don't know why they keep putting some stuff. So if you're a foreigner and you are planning to come to visit Turkey, or maybe to live in Turkish life, in Turkish, maybe if you're a person who is not into fancy stuff, a person who is actually who want to live a peaceful life with maybe in a neighboring, or maybe in a place whereby there's not too much noise, I highly recommend you to visit the Turkish village. Even though when it comes to buying property and buying land, I was told that in most cases, sometimes some lands are actually prohibited just for the locals or maybe for the citizens, and you cannot buy in the village side. But we still have beautiful places that you can actually invest in and build your home and start doing farming and stuff like that, if you're a person who is into that. Okay, now something I also noticed when it comes to actually living in Turkey, in the city versus the Turkish life in the Turkish village. If you're a foreigner, there's not too much people who are foreigners, okay, in the Turkish village compared to the cities. You will find that in the town that you are living, just a few people who are actually foreigners who can actually speak different languages, but most of them, they are actually Turks, okay. So during my time, or maybe whenever I visit there, it is so easy for people to identify me because I'm a foreigner. Of course, I'm an African, a black African woman. So if something happens, they're gonna actually point at me and say, "Oh, this has happened," or maybe not something bad. I'm just giving an example. So there are not too much foreigners in Turkish village compared to the city life, whereby in Turkish or maybe in Turkey, foreigners come to do business, to study. For a lot of foreigners who are studying here, a lot of people who are doing business, a lot of people who came to work and other stuffs, So if you are planning to go and live in the village side, just remember that you're gonna feel that loneliness, because there are not too much people of your kind. So you have to make sure that you are at least learning the language so that you can keep up, or maybe if you have a neighbor who you can talk with. And even though something also I noticed that neighbors, or maybe neighbors, it is difficult for them to actually to keep on coming and sitting and communicating and stuff like that, maybe on the phone, but not too much spending a lot of time as neighbors, because most of them, they're working on their farms, they have their businesses, they're doing some stuff, running their errands, daily errands. Another thing I noticed that women there, they do participate a lot in terms of actually family wise, in terms of actually household stuff, cooking for the people who are in the farm, planning the daily meals, taking care of the home and stuff like that. And most of them, they are actually, even the girls who are raised in Turkish village, they actually are conservative. Okay, you'll find that most of them, of course, they are Muslim, because Turkey is a Muslim country. And you'll just find them peacefully doing their job, participating in their daily activities peacefully, and they are conservative. I'm not sure if I'm using the right word, but you understand what I'm saying. They do like they do adhere, or maybe they do stick to their rules in terms of their religion. But also I have to say that women there, they are super welcoming to the people who are coming for the first time. Sorry, for the first time when I went there as a newlywed person, I was like, everybody wanted to see me, everybody wanted to come and see me, talked with me, and it was just some good feeling. They wanted to know what kind of food do I like, can I cook, can I speak, how am I speaking, how am I eating, how am I reacting, they just wanted to be around with me and also teach some of the things, which I find is super interesting and also something good. In the city life, I have to say that everybody has their own business, doing their own stuff, a daily life, maybe working and stuff. And most women, they do go to work. Some have big businesses, and some do go to maybe to school to study and stuff like that. But even in the city, women Turks, especially the Turks who have been raised well, they still have that. Even if they maybe they have nannies, they still have that say when it comes to family wise, in terms of food, in terms of what the kids will wear, the household stuff. They still have that, and they feel proud to make food for their families, for their husbands. So it is just some things that are actually interesting. Now, if you ask me, will you want to live in the city, or maybe will you prefer to live in the Turkish village? Of course, I love to live in the Turkish village, especially our Turkish village, or maybe our Turkish farmland, because there's so much going on there in terms of actually farming, fresh fruits, fresh stuff just from the farm, like I said, which is very interesting for me. And also, like I said, in terms of actually peacefulness and also just connecting with the nature. And there's security. If you're thinking that in Turkish people normally fight, or maybe the people normally do the thieving, or maybe the stealing, I find it so, even though I have to say that not everywhere, but most of the places that I actually visited, they are super secure, or maybe they are super safe for foreigners to actually live and stay. Because if you're not harming anyone, if you're not doing anything bad to anyone there, why would someone want to do something bad to you? Unless if you have been in a very difficult situation, or if you put yourself in a very difficult situation. However, you still have to consider to take precautions, or maybe to take security measures wherever you are going. Understand where you are, understand the people you are with, and also know their intentions. Okay, so guys, I think this video gonna be long, but I just wanted to point out and actually let you know that let no one give you or that fear of, oh, if I visit Turkey, or maybe if my guy, or maybe I want to visit this place and it is in the village side, or it's gonna be a very hard time for me. If you have ever lived in your life in a village lifestyle and you understand the village lifestyle, then Turkish village, they are just similar like that. They're not luxury. We do not have a lot of luxury villages like village lifestyle. They are just, they believe in simple things that actually create those peaceful moments, those beautiful memories. So if you are a person who is down to earth and you want to live in Turkish village, I highly recommend you to try. You're gonna love it. You're gonna enjoy it more than the city life. And I'm not saying that you should live entirely in Turkish village and not experience the city life, like in the Istanbul, in Ankara, Izmir, Antalya, these big cities. I'm not saying that, but I just want you to take time, if you really want to visit Turkey, to come and actually enjoy that vibe in the towns, in the village. People there support each other. People there do small businesses. Even in the markets, you'll find that they have these kind of things. The women, the men, they sell stuff like that. It is just beautiful. It gives you that sense of actually community-wise, like people, what they are doing. They believe in the simple things that bring happiness when they are actually together. So guys, let me finish my tea. I'm gonna catch up with this conversation later, and I'll see you next in my next videos. I have to take care of the kids, even though I know they are right now, they are sleeping, and I still have some stuff I want to do on my laptop here. I'll see you, and bye bye.